Welcome, guys. So I'll be showing you how to cut a shokoto trouser, and these are the measurements I'll be working with. So that's the waist, the hip, the thigh, the length, and the ankle. So those are the measurements I'll be working with, and I'll be showing you how I'll be cutting the trouser. The first thing I'll be doing will be to take 1 inch from the top. That 1 inch mark I'm marking is actually an allowance for the back piece, because the back piece needs to be higher than the front piece because of your bum bum. So it's just an allowance I'm giving for your bum bum. So I'll be starting the front piece from that 1 inch mark, and the first thing I'll be doing would be to mark 2 inches for our waistband. This waistband would be what will contain our rope and also our rubber, the elastic rubber that would be on or inside the waistband rather. So that's the waistband. So from the downline of the waistband, I'll be taking the crotch measurement, which is 13 inches, and I'll be marking that on several positions and joining with a straight line, and that will be for the crotch position, and that line will also be for our thigh line. The next thing I'll be doing will be to mark our trouser length. So for this, you don't need any addition or subtraction, just mark your trouser length from the downline of that waistband line. So just mark your trouser length. So after marking your trouser length on two different positions, join with a straight line. Then I'll also be marking the excess folding on the downline, and that will be 2 inches. So as you can see, I marked 2 inches for the folding of the waistband on the upper part, and I'm also marking 2 inches for the folding of the downline on the lower part. So after this, I'll be marking 2 inches, and this is for our slant. There are very few trousers you make without creating slants. I think most are just joggers and some like that. But for any other trouser, you should always make your slant, because your trouser should not be straight down. So I'll make my slant to the tip of the upper part of the waistband line. So I started from the down line. Now I will start from the top, and wherever both actually meet is what I'll be cutting off. So I'll be cutting off that slant line to avoid any form of confusion. So I'll just cut off the down line like that. So what we are working with is what we'll be left with. Any other form of unuseful excesses would actually be removed. So I'm done cutting that slant. So I'll be taking all my measurements. Now the first thing I'll be doing will be to take 2 inches from that slant line. Now this 2 inches is responsible for all our sewing allowance. So all our sewing allowances is embedded in these 2 inches. For every piece, you need ½ inch. And for the sewing of a trouser, you are working with 4 pieces. So if you're working with 4 pieces, you definitely need 2 inches for your sewing allowance. The next thing we'll be doing now will be to mark our hip measurement. And your hip you divide by 4, and you mark from that point like that. So you mark your hip, you also mark it on the top, exactly the same measurement, and all the markings are from that slant line. So I will continue marking from that slant line. That is the second slant line, and the measurement is the hip divided by 4. So I'll mark it up until the thigh line. Then I'll be using a ruler to join all the points. I'm actually joining with a broken line, and that is because I'll still be making a curve on the down line. So I'll take my thigh measurement from the second line as well. So from that point like that, I'll take my thigh measurement, and that is my thigh divided by 2. Then I'll mark it there. After marking it, I'll add allowance for ease. You can add 1 inch, you can add 3/4 inch. Then I'll come up by either 2 or 2.5. So for this I'll be using 2.5, and I'll be making a curve from that 2.5 point to the east point. The next thing is to mark that thigh measurement 1 inch below. So I'll take 1 inch below, and on that 1 inch below mark, I'll mark the thigh measurement again, and I'll join to that east point as well. After which I'll be going to the ankle point. So from that point I'll start marking my curve inwards. So I'll go to the ankle point, mark my ankle measurement divided by 2. So I'll mark it downwards. Now watch this, I'll go up by 2 inches and mark that same ankle point. And that is because I want, when I fold it, I don't want the trouser to be smaller than the folding. So I want the folding and the point the folding will be folded to be exactly the same measurement. So I'll mark it up there like that, this broken line I just made. I'll mark the ankle measurement as well, and I'll join all 3 points. Now from that point there, I'll make a curve outwards. So that curve will go outwards until it meets the curve on the thigh line. So this one coming from the thigh line will meet that one coming from the ankle line. So you just have to start both at different points, and wherever they meet, you just join like that. So after making my curve, even when I'm using my ruler to straighten the curve, I'll still straighten that curve. Before we go straight to the cutting, there are some allowances we'll be adding, and that is the 1 inch on the top, and also the SSs I'll be adding for the bum allowance. So for your bum, if you're dealing with somebody with a very big bum, you can add as much as 1/1/4 or even 1.5. For this I'm adding 3/4 inch, and I'm joining to the line like that. And this would only take effect when I'm cutting out the back piece. So you can also see the allowance I gave on the top, and all this would be only when I'm cutting out the back piece. When I'm cutting the front piece, I'll actually remove all these excesses. So this line you see me cutting is just for the back piece, and I'll go straight to other cuttings as well, and that is through that hip line up until the crotch line. And just to show you how it works, you fold 1/2 inch on the upper part of the waistband, then you fold on the down part of the waistband, and you sew on the edge of the folding. You do the same for the ankle line. You fold by 1/2 inch, then you also bend on the trouser length and you sew on the edge of the folding. So that's just pretty much how it works.